Okay, thank you. All right, good evening, everyone. It is Tuesday, January 21st, 2025, and we are recalling the regular meeting of the Suffern Central School District Board of Education back in session. Thank you, everyone. Sorry for the delay. May the record reflect that all board members are present except for Mr. Paul Shapiro. And we will now start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we do not have a student reporter tonight, so we are going to skip 1.07 and move to 1.08, which is the minutes of the regular meeting of January 7th, 2025. Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes? Good. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes? Thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Frazier. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you, Mr. Nick Pond, Dr. Nick Pond. Okay, and now we're going to go to 1.09, which is superintendent's comments.
Thank you very much. I miss Talijah's enthusiastic report from the high school, but I'm sure that we can probably rest assured that there are all sorts of great athletic activities, including the Suffern Swim and Dive team today, with the partnership with the Nick Pond, Matty Nick Pond Foundation fundraiser. So that was a really good thing. And I know that we've had a number of musical events going on at the high school these last few weeks. And I just wanted to take a moment to hope that everyone had an enjoyable Martin Luther King Day yesterday. We were able to take a moment to reflect on the incredible work of Martin Luther King and the work that goes into providing community service for folks throughout our district and throughout our region as well. I know that in a number of our classrooms throughout the district, there was work and activities centered around the work of Dr. Martin Luther King. And I just wanted to mention that to recognize that his impact is still at the very center of a lot of the work that we do. We have on our agenda this evening, a presentation by Ms. Patricia Balbuena. I'm sorry, Dr. Patricia Balbuena, who's going to talk about our bilingual program. And I'm going to ask you to come up in just 1 minute. But I couldn't help but notice that 2 seats to our left from Patricia is Judy Barbera, who was our longtime ASI, who retired in 2013. Nice to see you, Judy. Thank you so much for being here. I know that Judy had a tremendous impact on teaching and learning in the Suffern Central School District during her time here. And it's wonderful to see that she is still in touch with Suffern Central, particularly with the work that you do with AVID. And then I know that you had meetings with Lee Weber today, I believe, or at least folks in Lee Weber's department. And I really appreciate you being here tonight to learn a little bit about what we're doing on the bilingual front. Before I ask Dr. Balbuena to come up, I just want to acknowledge in our agenda the long list of teachers who are going to be retiring from our school district at the end of this year. It's always a strange thing to acknowledge teachers retiring in January, when in reality they're going to be retiring at the end of June. But that long list of folks really causes me to pause and reflect on just the cumulative years and the incredible number of student lives that each and every one of these teachers has impacted. I know that in the spring, we spend a lot of time as a Board of Education recognizing and celebrating the careers of these folks. But I just wanted to acknowledge that we very much appreciate their dedication to our students, our entire community, and of course, we are going to be wishing them all the best when they leave our Suffern Central School District community. And we certainly hope that all these folks don't completely leave, but still keep in touch. Maybe some will come back and substitute. Maybe some will consult. Maybe some will work for AVID and see us in a handful of years, right? And continue the good work that they've spent their entire careers on. I am going to ask Dr. Balbuena to come on up to the podium. Those of us at the front of the dais, we're going to move off to the side so that we can see your presentation. But I just want to give a little bit of a background about the incredible work that Dr. Balbuena is doing, particularly this year at the kindergarten level. We know that we have an ever-increasing number of students who are coming to the Suffern Central School District where English is not their first language, and their families are predominantly Spanish-speaking, and that they are looking to experience the great opportunities that we have here at Suffern Central. And for the last several years, we've been, providing students that are in that situation with a robust bilingual education opportunity, something that is certainly mandated by the state of New York, but it's also the right thing to do for students. But what Dr. Balbuena and her team are really doing here is taking this mandate of providing a bilingual education and stepping it up a big notch in many ways that we see happens in some of your elite private schools in New York City, and certainly in just a couple of districts in Westchester County that truly provide an opportunity for bilingual education, not only for your Spanish-speaking newcomers, but also for students that have been, in our case, in the Suffern Central School District for generations, students who get to truly become bilingual at a very early age. So, Dr. Balbuena, I'm going to turn the presentation over to you. If you can share with us this overview of the program that you've created, started, and that you are looking to expand. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you. So yes, I'm very excited to share about our two-way dual language program. Throughout the presentation, I'm going to start with students. You'll see a video, and then I'll define what two-way means. We'll talk a little bit about what it looks like at Suffern Central and what our vision is moving forward. So we're going to start with some students, just so you could see in our Sloatsburg School kindergarten class. Hopefully this plays. It's not playing. Just a little snapshot.
Muy bien, gracias. Y tú. Levanta la mano si quiere compartir. Estoy bien. Estoy bien. Laila, ¿cómo estás? Hola, ¿cómo estás? Bien, me alegro.
So this is just a little shot, so you could see our students experiencing Spanish today. And of course, you'll see on the pictures, just the collaboration and a little bit about how students serve as language models for each other. So what is a two-way dual language? When I refer to the phrase two-way, I'm speaking about the opportunity for native English speakers, so students who have never heard do not speak a word of Spanish, and then native Spanish speakers, students who do not speak a word of English, learning together. So they have this unique opportunity to be in one class together and learn and become proficient in two languages. So the goal of the program is to have all students, and give them the opportunity to be bilingual and biliterate. The program model is an inclusive enrichment model that fosters bilingualism, biliteracy, and intercultural competence. This model prepares students to be successful in this interconnected world, right, that we live in. What does that program look like here at Suffern Central? So we started our first program in kindergarten at Sloatsburg. What does that look like? So when we say we have two classes, we have two classes of 22 students in each class. One class is called the Spanish Zone, which is taught by Ms. Jennifer Mazariegos, who actually is a Suffern graduate. The second class is taught by Ms. Deanne Martin and is called the English Zone. So if you notice there, that little symbol, they swap. So if I'm in class A, today, Monday, I'm learning in Spanish. Tomorrow, Tuesday, I swap and I now learn in English. And the other class, same concept. They'll start Monday in English and then the following day they go to Spanish. We have a total of 44 students between both classes. 42% of all kindergarten students in Sloatsburg are actually enrolled in our program. So we're very proud of that number. And again, we are very committed to having the composition of students to meet that ratio. 50% of native English speakers, 50% of Spanish speakers. We do have some students that are bilingual, actually like 4 students that already had the exposure to both languages, but the majority of the students are dominant in their native language. Currently, we have a wait list. We have 3 native English speakers on a wait list. And by opening up seats, we open up equal seats, right? Because you think about the 50-50 model. If we open up a native English seat, we open up a native Spanish seat. But right now, due to class size, we know that we had interest, but we had to cap the size because then the class would just be too large. So we had to start a waiting list. So in order to start this program, there was a lot of research, and we collaborated, we formed committees, we looked at research, we read resources, we visited other districts that have the program. And what we learned is that the two-way model, two-way meaning that is both native English and native Spanish speaking students, was the most successful model for English language learners. And there's new research coming out now that it's also showing that their students are outperforming, even if they're native English speakers, they're outperforming monolingual students. And why? This is because of the benefits of being bilingual, the benefits of being part of this program. So again, research is telling us that, of course, at the core is that they will be bilingual and biliterate, but there are other benefits to this as well. There's research that shows that they have improved problem-solving skills, critical thinking skills, memory, and mental flexibility because of that ability to learn in both languages. Like I mentioned, the academic performance, students are outperforming students that are in other models. There's also a cultural awareness where we're preparing students to have that global preparedness, right? And both cultures are valued and both cultures are able to share what their awareness and bring that into the classroom. Of course, we have career opportunities. It opens doors for multiple career paths because now our students will, with the goal of remaining in the program, graduate as bilingual students. While they're learning in this model, it's a very inclusive learning model because both students have the opportunity to bring in their authentic language and actually share in that experience with each other. What are the benefits for the district and our community at large? For our district, we know that it aligns with the vision and goals of districts, especially ours, because our goal is always to prepare citizens to be ready and impact our global society, right? The second, which we already have some evidence here on the side, is parent involvement. Throughout this process, we speak to parents. Before they even apply, we have an information session so that they make informed decisions and they have a say in, is this something that they want for their kids? So immediately giving parents that say in, look, we're offering this. Is this something that you would want? And having that commitment and forming those relationships already is something that we've been able to see. And here on the side, we have some feedback already from our families. There will be, these interviews will be on our website. So you'll see the videos, you'll see the full videos and an actual video that we have coming up. And also, of course, it sets the district up to be innovative, right? And have this opportunity to be a leader in innovative education, because what we're thinking about is looking at language as an asset and giving this opportunity to all students, where it could even get to the point where our students can learn 3 languages, right? Because if you stay committed to the program and you become bilingual by middle school, high school, you have that opportunity to now learn a 3rd language, right? So think about that. That would be amazing. We were very determined in making sure that in starting the program that we guided our work through core principles. So based again on collaboration and research, our core, we're gonna start from the bottom. So our foundation, what makes this program strong is a commitment from families and the district. So from families to understand the program, to understand that what it entails to learn a second language, right? They're not going to all be bilingual by the end of kindergarten, but what does that look like? How much time are you committing to? And then from us as a district to say, we commit to continue the program, right? So you commit to us, we commit to you. The second layer is academic excellence. It's the same rigorous curriculum in every single classroom. So all curriculums that are being used in every grade level are the same curriculum that is being used in our dual language classes. We also have language fidelity as the third one, where you don't repeat lessons. That's what research is telling us. It's not a repetition. It's not a translation. It's a core. You continue the lesson on day one in English, let's say. On day two, you continue that lesson in Spanish. And then on day three, you go back to English. And that brings me into the instructional model. Our motto is 50-50, which means one day in English and one day in Spanish. And then that model keeps rotating. And then at the core is, of course, the experience we give our students in the classroom. Making sure that they have those interactive strategies and that there's a lot of collaboration and communication so that they learn from each other. Because again, what we've learned is we want students to have authentic experiences with each other and serve as language models. So of course, I would have to talk about our one-way, just like Dr. Gunderson talked about in the beginning. We've started the one-way programs, and of course, they are as part of our bilingual education program. But as a district, we know that we want to follow the more inclusive togetherness model. And what the data is telling us and what research is telling us is that the two-way model is the model that promotes multilingualism for all students. It's very inclusive and it's innovative. When we say one-way, so think about the picture right there. One-way means they're all English language learners in the class. Two-way means we've combined the class and we have native English speakers and native Spanish speakers in the class together. So that's what distinguishes both models. So what's our vision? We created the one-way dual language program, but that's as we expand. And meanwhile, right, we're expanding our two-way program. A two-way program can only begin in kindergarten and as late as first grade. You cannot bring in native English speakers in the second grade because they don't have the language, right? And we want to make sure that we set up students for success. So a lot of our marketing and promotion is for kindergarten, incoming kindergarten students, and current kindergarten students. The programs are open based on community interest. So we survey our families, we have information sessions, and we look at the numbers, right? And the numbers guide us as to what we could start. But our goal is to start another two-way kindergarten program at Sloatsburg, and to expand the current kindergarten program to first grade. So we were ready, that's the commitment part that we have to our families. And like I said, in RP Connor, because of community interest, we were able to start a one-way. But again, these families right now having more experience and hearing more about it, we're gonna give them the opportunity to say, hey, do you want to join, do you want your child to join the first grade? And then based on those numbers that comes back, we'll determine whether we're able to open up a two-way in first grade in RP Connor. So our goal by 2026, 2027 is to have both schools, K to 2, with two-way programs from K to second grade. So some important dates to know. Like I said, we want to make sure that families make informed decisions. So they have a very, I have a presentation that I give families. It's a 1-hour presentation. We go a lot deeper into the what is a two-way dual language program and what are the benefits. We have one coming up February 3rd at 6 p.m. here in the boardroom, February 7th at 9:45. It's for all incoming kindergarten families and current kindergarten families. There is an application deadline, which is on April 7th. So that's something that's really important. And I want to end again with just bringing us right back to students, right? And what a perfect picture, because it's like, this is exactly what it looks like when you say students serving as language models for each other. And even in the first video where you saw that, it validates every single child, because every single child has a strength, their native language, right? And they're bringing it to support other students. So that's my quick presentation about two-way dual language. Any questions, comments, thoughts? I'm here to answer your questions.
Tricia, I see that this is developing as you go on.
Mhm.
Are we going to look for third and fourth grade
Yeah, so yes. So right now,
into the next level.
yes, once second grade now gets into third grade, they could get into the program. So right now, our kindergarten will be moving up to first grade, then second, then third. Yes. Right, that's the commitment part that we've made to our families. Like, we're not gonna start this program and then just dismantle it.
Correct.
So. Any other questions?
Any other questions from any other board members? No, thank you so much,
Thank you.
Dr. Balbuena. I just want to say, when I remember when my son was starting kindergarten in Montebello, this program was under discussion, and we were really interested in it. I'm so glad that it really came to fruition, although he's long past the time he could take advantage of it now. But I've always heard wonderful things about it from districts all over the country, from parents whose children have participated in it. And I also want to say thank you to the parents and to the teachers who have invested their time and their commitment to this program. It's a new, different way of doing education, and thank you for having the trust in the district and in this program. And I also just really am happy that it creates a sense of equity for students who are not English speakers or whose parents are not English speakers, that they get a much more inclusive role in this district. That's really wonderful to see and hear. So thank you so much for bringing in the pictures and showing the videos. It was just great.
Dr. Balbuena, I just want to thank you as well, and I look forward to the video that's going to be coming out. I had the opportunity to visit Sloatsburg when they were interviewing some of the parents, and it was just a great experience for me to hear about parents so incredibly eager to share the impact that this has had on their child. And you're going to see this in the video, but there was one parent in particular who said, I thought this would be a great experience for my child. We're an English-speaking family, and my child is now, a couple months into this, coming home, speaking a little bit of Spanish here and there. She goes, I don't know Spanish, but we went out to a Spanish restaurant, and all of a sudden my daughter, kindergartner, started talking to the waitstaff in Spanish. And the wait staff was so impressed, started teaching her some other words, just really cool personal stories that you'll hear in this video from families that have just, it's really been an impact. And I'd be remiss, I know that you mentioned the two teachers that are involved with this at the kindergarten level in Sloatsburg right now. I know that there's been a larger team as well. And I just want to acknowledge that you have Vanessa Rodriguez, the principal of Sloatsburg, next to you, who's been integral in making this happen, and the success and the community building with these two classrooms of students at Sloatsburg. So I want to thank you, Vanessa, for that. And then also our Associate Director of ELL, Dr. Wellington Garcia Matthews, who's right next to Patricia, who's been a big member of your team in making sure that this works as well. And of course, how could we forget the person running, the assistant superintendent for instruction. Lee is the person that came to me and said, Patricia has this great vision. I think we really need to consider this. And I know Ms. Weber has been a big cheerleader of you and this program, and it wouldn't be moving forward at this rate were it not for your leadership as well. So thank you all for this. This was really informative. We look forward to future reports that are going to be great. And yeah, good stuff. And this concludes my superintendent's report.
Very well. Thank you so much. Okay. Our next item is public participation on action items only. Action items are on our agenda tonight, 2.01 through 2.15. Is there anybody who's here to speak on an action item only? Okay. Seeing as there are none, we will close that portion of the meeting and move on to our action items. Before I ask for a consent agenda, is there any item that anybody wishes to pull? No. Okay, great. I do want to make just one comment on 2.01 professional personnel report. There is somebody listed in there who has the same last name as me. We are not acquainted or related that I know of, so I'm not going to be pulling that one for a separate vote. Okay, at this time, do I have a motion for consent agenda on 2.01 through 2.15? Thank you, Mr. Kern. Second. Thank you, Dr. Nickpon. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? And any abstentions? No. Okay, good. We're going to move on to board member comments. Do any board members have any comments tonight? Okay.
I'd just like to thank the Suffern Swim and Dive team for today's fundraiser for our foundation, the MN2 Foundation. It was very much a surprise and very moving that they wanted to support our foundation. And it was great to go to the swim and dive meet and witness that. I've never witnessed that, and to see those athletes compete, and it was very special, and just a very special way of supporting us and our foundation. And all of the proceeds will be going to our mission trips that we do to Jamaica to help disabled children. And this year especially, we're raising more funds to build a dormitory house for Haitian residents that were taken in last year. So the need is greater this year. So again, I just want to thank the team and all of the athletes and all of the parents and Booster Club that helped that. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other comments? No? Very good. And thank you to our brave swimmers and divers who came out on a night such as this in the single degrees, but I understand the water was quite warm. So that's good. Good. That's wonderful to hear. I'm glad that the community is supporting your foundation this way. Then we're going to move on to public participation. This is on any district-related business. Is there anybody who's here to speak on any district-related business tonight? No? Okay, great. Fine. Always welcome to speak. We're going to close that portion of the meeting then and move to superintendent's closing comments.
I have no further comments.
Great.
How am I supposed to take that?
Okay, then let's move on to the motion to adjourn. Do I have a motion to adjourn this meeting until our next meeting, which will be Tuesday, February 4th at 7:30 p.m. right back here in Hilburn? Do I have a motion? Thank you, Mrs. Hodge. Second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Kern. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, very well. We will see everyone back here on February 4th.